I welcome to this session on R&I Days. This session is called Innovation Ecosystems for Bioeconomy and Food Systems. I work in DG RTD, the Directorate General responsible for research and innovation, and I'm so happy and so lucky to have today three distinguished panelists that will help us today to understand the concept of what we call regional innovation valleys for bioeconomy and food systems, and to provide you some tools to fully understand all the potential of these regional innovation valleys. You might have heard yesterday that we also had a session on regional innovation valleys here in R&I Days. So who was there in that session knows already something about what they are under the new European Innovation Agenda. But today we will focus on a specific case that is very dear for us on bioeconomy and food systems. And you might also have heard yesterday that the Commission published a communication on biomanufacturing, on biotechnology and biomanufacturing. In that communication, if you have the chance to download it, there is a specific reference to the regional innovation valleys, how they can become sectorial centers of biotech excellence. So there is more to come in the future months and years, and I wish that this session will be useful for you to have a clear understanding of this. My panelists today, I'm so glad to introduce to you Richard Zaltzman, the Chief Executive Officer of EIT Food. Welcome.
Thank you.
Richard, thank you for having accepted our invitation. And I also have here Professor Vladislav Popov from Plovdiv, Bulgaria. You are Vice Rector of the Agricultural University there. So welcome and thank you for being here with us. And I have here on my side Joanna Drake. It's a pleasure for me to have you here because she's my Deputy Director General in RTD. She's taking care of directorates for planet, people, for science for policy, and in addition to that, she's also acting director of the Common Policy Center, who is responsible for planning and programming. So thank you so much, Joanna, for being here with us. I'll go straight to a question for Richard. It's more a request from my side to for you to share some successful projects so that we understand how to deploy innovation on the ground and how it can happen. Do you have examples for us, Richard?
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me to bring to life how EIT Food supports the bioeconomy innovation ecosystem. We work with and support a very wide range of organizations and projects. So I'm going to share two examples, one that highlights both breadth of broad innovation and another that will highlight depth innovation of a specific example in the sector. So I'm going to start with a project called Phenols. This was a project taking a specific innovation opportunity in depth across the RIS region, so that's Southern, Central and Eastern Europe. The project was a consortia project delivered by the Spanish National Research Council, CSIC, Assessor, Fraunhofer, the University of Turin, and a startup called Energy Pulse Systems. The project's focus was enhancing the concentration of polyphenols in olive oil through innovative extraction processes, so very specific technology. But this would have a huge impact on the industry in the area, given most olive oil produced in Europe is produced in this region. The project developed and scaled these extraction technologies, scaling being really critical, leading to a healthier and more affordable final product, as well as improved yield rates. Now, it was quite long term. It took 3 years for Assessor to adopt this technology and apply it to their extraction process. But it's not just about technology either. This project also included an education program to improve the capability of the sector in using innovative technology and taking this to market. So this highlights a project that takes a specific innovation challenge, improving the quality of olive oil. Let's look at a second example where we have a broader challenge and look for a breadth of solutions. Not such a snappy name. This was the Digital Agriculture for Sustainable Food Systems project, and it was a project launched by EIT Food in partnership with the Bavarian State Research Center for Agriculture and Siemens, looking at addressing the challenges of reducing the use of chemical inputs in agriculture. And this would offer a very substantial contribution to the EU's climate and environmental objectives. So a broad set of challenges. So here we took a challenge-based approach, opening a call to all agtech entrepreneurs in Europe to address the biodiversity, soil, water quality and greenhouse gas emission challenge. we had a great response. 3 winning applications, all received mentoring, testing, and further support to develop their solutions. And overall, this brought many different technologies up through the market to address those specific challenges. So these are 2 contrasting projects of many in the bioeconomy sector which we support, and we'll continue to do so in this critical sector.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Richard. That was very enlightening. Congratulations for those achievements.
Thank you.
And now I would like to ask a question to Joanna, please, because we are under the new European Innovation Agenda and the regional innovation valleys for bioeconomy and food systems. This is why I would like to ask you if you can please tell us more about what they are and what they are aiming at, please.
So I need to use my mic first thing. We are living very challenging times, I think, in all directions. But more and more, we are realizing that the more that innovation and technology intersect successfully, especially through the sort of examples that we have heard, we know that we're investing in our economies, we're investing in our industries, we are investing in our rural areas. Hence, even regional innovation valleys. And I think when you look at the global picture, or bigger picture rather, especially as Europeans, we are interested in making our economies more resilient, stronger, and investing in our own strategic autonomy. And I think we are seeing regional innovation valleys as a concept that is building up stronger, if you like, and more robust right from the valleys, from the bottom, from normal life, from our food systems. So when you mentioned earlier, Linda, the new European Innovation Agenda published in 2022 by the Commission, there were a number of flagship actions, and this was one of them. It was one of the 5 flagships that was announced there. So the whole idea is to ensure that when we talk about science, innovation, technology, economy, business, and these things happening, like where are they happening? We want them to happen where people are living, where people need to see them, where people need to see their effect on themselves, on their lives. And when they see that things are happening and perhaps there's an acceleration towards innovation, towards the support of their own regional development, then they believe in them and they start wanting to participate in them as well. So this means that when you look again at the bigger picture, not only are we addressing the strategic autonomy of the economy, of the European economy and the global sphere, but we're also helping to bridge the divide which still exists on innovation. So how does all this relate to food? Well, food is an essential part of our being, of our economy, of our culture, but they are under threat and they are not to be taken for granted at all. And definitely we're hearing all the time how much they are not future-proof. They are not resilient enough. They need to be much more sustainable. And this is urgent. It's an urgent thing, and we need to urgently invest much better and everywhere in the transformation of our food system. And of course, there's a lot of key evidence that we also refer to all the time, whether it's the IPCC reports or whether it is the Science Advice Mechanism, which is a mechanism we have in the Commission where we, politicians, policymakers within the Commission itself ask us to provide the evidence, the science evidence about difficult questions, including on food sustainability. And we have produced also, through the help of independent experts that we put together, we have produced this evidence as well. Why? Because policymakers need to be inspired. And of course, they need to be inspired not just to talk about it, but to provide solutions. And these are the solutions. And since we are facing a number of these interconnected challenges of climate change, of biodiversity, geopolitical instability, the war, economic fragility of rural areas, it's all interlinked. And so is bioeconomy and so is food. And we hope that the success of the agenda for the innovation will depend on the development of these very concrete actions happening very much close to the citizens. And this is why we have produced this concept in 2023, a concept note on the regional innovation values for bioeconomy and food systems, which was developed not by ourselves, but with the help of member states, actually in Plovdiv in Bulgaria in collaboration with the Agriculture University of Plovdiv, and introduced also by our Commissioner Ivanova. And let me say here that regional innovation values for bioeconomy and food systems, we believe, can have a significant potential to support and accelerate the deployment of both the bioeconomy and also to transform our food systems. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joanna. Very clear and very dense. We have a lot of inspiration to take from this session. So this brings me to Vladislav. You helped us last year in this event in Plovdiv. So my question to you would be, how can the regional innovation valleys for bioeconomy and food systems help to reduce, as Joanna was saying, the innovation divide?
Thank you for this question. This is really a very crucial question, because I even wouldn't say innovation divide. To tell you honestly, I prefer to say, to call it fragmentation of research and innovation, because in fact there is an innovation divide between countries from Western Europe and the countries from Central and Eastern Europe. If you look at the European scoreboard, you see that most of MS-13 countries belong to lower to medium performing innovation countries. So if you look at the countries from Central and Eastern Europe, where we have much potential, very high potential for the development of bioeconomy, there is a fragmentation because there are many universities, many research institutes, but in the same time industry and business are working also alone in many cases. They're thinking that they can transfer these new technologies by themselves, but we started to talk with Richard that it is impossible anymore. So the regional innovation valleys are really good instrument, one of the best, and I'm sure that it will be one of the best instruments to bring all these stakeholders together. That's the whole benefit for the regional societies, because they rely on the quadruple helix in most of the cases, which means researchers and educators, business, regional or national policymakers, and civil society. And if you look at the structure of these regional innovation valleys, you already see that the progress will be there, because these people in the regions, they know the best what are the problems, what are the needs, how we can going to tackle this, to address all these needs, what kind of technologies we have to bring to this region. So everything is there, as Joanna said. Next thing is last year conference that we did in Plovdiv, and thanks to the Commission, we brought many of these stakeholders together. We brought examples of these regional innovation valleys. We discussed the capacity building, because this is also a very huge issue also for the Central and Eastern European countries. Education and training of future experts in bioeconomy. And last but not least, access to funding, because even now the regional innovation valleys are pleading for more funds, for increased financing of the regional innovation valleys. And it can happen through Circle of Bio-Based Europe joint undertaking and the European Investment Bank. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vladislav. And this brings me to Richard. Another question for you. What the bioeconomy, we know that it's a vast and diverse sector with a huge strategic potential for the EU. So in this context, what does the EIT Food see as the needs for leveraging this potential?
Yeah, absolutely. Bioeconomy is huge, 2.3 trillion turnover, 18 million people employed in the EU. It provides the food and natural resources that every single one of us use and depend on every day. EIT Food is very much a partnership that exists to transform the food system within the bioeconomy. And when it comes to food, we know that the food system we have cannot meet the needs of tomorrow's society using today's methods for growing and producing food. The innovation ecosystem in this sector has a critical transformational role to realise the potential of the bioeconomy to meet the needs of the present without jeopardising our ability to meet the needs of future generations too, addressing the sustainability, health and resilience challenges in the sector. To leverage the potential of that community within the bioeconomy, we're investing, as Vladislav said, on bringing people together. That is critical. People, the organisations across the food systems, right from the farmers all the way through the value chain to the retailers, have to work together to address the challenges. We do this in a number of ways, through collaborative innovation programming, investing in supporting startups and scale-ups, and in building capacity and capability. And our objective is to show that a sustainable bioeconomy benefits all actors, from farm to fork, and that through investing in innovation, we can create a food system that future generations can inherit, not as a burden, but as a gift that continues to provide enormous economic value, is a rich source of employment, and contributes to addressing the global challenges of climate change, and which delivers, of course, healthy and sustainable food for all. We're approaching the end of the European Year of Skills as well, and talent is crucial for this sector, building that capability. And we do a lot of work in that area, along with supporting great initiatives like the Deep Tech Talent Initiative. I could give you many examples of our innovative projects and companies beyond the two I just outlined, covering many elements of the bioeconomy, from biotech, biomanufacturing, aquaculture, digital, etc. But I'm going to focus on one of our most ambitious endeavors ever. This is the Regenerative Innovation Portfolio, which is a set of co-financed landscape-level transformation programs with companies working collaboratively together with farmers and the value chain to transition whole landscapes to create regenerative, sustainable food for the long term. This portfolio is centred on making the transition one which benefits farmers directly, and this is something we see as critical for the bioeconomy. The transition to a sustainable bioeconomy has to benefit the stewards of the land and the resources directly, with the risk of transition and change shared by the value chain, not trapped behind the farm gate. Mm-hmm. So if I was to highlight one key factor that will enable innovation to leverage and create a transformation in the bioeconomy, it would be in investing in innovative ways to share the risk across the value chain, and therefore draw in deep, long-term commitment from all of the beneficiaries of a healthy bioeconomy, which of course, it includes you and me if we want to put healthy, sustainable, affordable food on our tables every day.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much. It involves all of us, and we all have, yes, a role to play there. But let me go now back to Joanna. Let's give also time to our participants here and online to digest all this relevant information. And now I would like to ask Joanna, what can you tell us about future actions in relation to regional innovation valleys in the area of bioeconomy and food systems? What lies ahead?
We have to build on what there is, first of all. Let's make this very, very clear. We're not saying that we have been making the breakthrough ourselves. There's a lot of work already that's been done at the level of the member states. And so we're not starting from zero. And also on the regions around the bioeconomy and the food systems. But we wanted to add value. We wanted to recognize what's going on, and we wanted to add value on the ongoing work. So the first results of the coordinated calls for proposals under the European Innovation Ecosystems Programme and Inter-Regional Innovation Instruments already demonstrate a lot of interest from the regions across Europe in order to strengthen their own ecosystem, to enhance the coordination, the joining up that has been mentioned earlier. In other words, bringing the people together, the right elements, and also aligning them to go forward together, directionality. Basically also in terms of investment and according to the EU priorities, which finally joins up to the global picture of tackling global challenges, but not only climate change and biodiversity, which I mentioned earlier, but also to engage in the collaboration itself in the less advanced region in order to complement their own smart specializations. We have learned that the work of the existing networks and regions was already very fundamental, first of all, to really, organically grow the proposals and to make them sort of bridge them into the European ecosystem, and also to participate in the co-funding call, and also to embrace the complexity of the different regions, by the way, whilst at the same time making synergies happen. Now, planning ahead, because this is, I think, really important for those who are interested here, and maybe those who are seeing this on streaming. We foresee that there will be a second edition of Regional Innovation Valley calls from next year, from 2025, in Horizon Europe, with an envelope of at least 40 million euros in the Widera network and the EIE network. And we are already working intensively here in the preparation of the Horizon Europe Cluster 6 work program and beyond. And of course, we want to reinforce, first of all, the possibilities that there already are, reinforce the valleys themselves for bioeconomy and for food systems in this program too. I think the fact that yesterday the Commission adopted the communication, I think already gives even more added, shall we say, momentum, to an activity that's already there, and that is obviously seeking to attain even more energy from these sort of calls and initiatives. We do have the technologies. The technologies are there and they can help. We can, for instance, through biotechnology, can make better use of biomass, waste and side streams. And as food systems are part of the bioeconomy, we can also provide solutions to the challenges we are facing within the dedicated regional ecosystem, such as the regional innovation valleys themselves.
Thank you. Thank you, Joanna. This is very important also for us to know that we are in this phase of programming Cluster 6 under Horizon Europe, programming other instruments, and we have to take all the opportunities that we can have for the deployment on the ground of this innovation. And this brings me to another question for you, Vladislav. What are your future plans to further develop regional innovation ecosystems in the field of bioeconomy and food systems? What can you tell us about your plans?
I think that it is wise to focus at least on three directions. The first one could be to strengthen the coordination and directionality of the regional innovation valleys. This is probably number one priority, because I'll give you an example. In Plovdiv in Bulgaria, we have one regional innovation valley, Deep Tech Regional Innovation Valley, with 80 entities, actors involved in this region. So you can imagine how important it is to strengthen the coordination and to streamline their goals and instruments. Now, another thing that could be also useful is to have these inter-regional clusters, I used to call them, Joanna already mentioned, between regional innovation valleys around, for instance, a certain geographical area, for instance, Danube countries, or certain areas of smart specialization strategies, regional smart specialization strategies, because you can imagine that there are more than 100 regional innovation valleys that will receive funding. So all other candidate regional innovation valleys should not be discouraged. They could be supported by a kind of a twinning between really advanced regional innovation valleys and those that are with lower and medium innovation capacity. It could be also, it could go through the BioEast initiative, by the way, for Central and Eastern Europe. And the third direction that I'm thinking of is to work with European university alliances. Maybe you remember that now there are more than 60 or about 60 approved European university alliances. Why I'm telling you this? Because usually, and many of these alliances have in their agenda, in their objectives, the Green Deal, the green transition, food systems, bioeconomy, etc., etc. So it is worth for the regional innovation valleys to get in touch with the European university alliances in order to build capacities, future capacities. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for this concrete example. So more coordination will be needed, possibilities for twinning, and the use of existing networks like the one of the European University Alliances. Thank you so much.
Yep.
I'll go to Richard now. We have to be also mindful of the timing of our schedule. And Richard, what is the EIT Food Regional Innovation Scheme, and what are the synergies that you see ahead with the Regional Innovation Valleys for Bioeconomy and Food Systems?
Yeah, of course. And to build on what Joanna said, let's build on what we already have. Well, before we jump into what RIS is, let's just also understand what regional innovation valleys need to be successful. Innovation, clearly at their heart, informed by insight and enabled by skills and capability. And this is very much what the EIT KICs do in the Regional Innovation Scheme. It's a portfolio of tailor-made activities that we deploy in Southern and Central and Eastern Europe countries to enhance their innovation potential. And we do this through a number of programs, and I'll just give some examples. Our InfraBooster program provides training for publicly funded research institutions to increase their ties with industry, so bring organizations together and turn scientific research into tangible benefits for society and the economy. That's the engagement. Insight is really critical to ensure innovation communities are focused on solutions which have an impact. Our RIS Consumer Engagement Labs co-create with consumers to bring new products to market through local consortia, which bring together scientific organizations, local community and industry. So that convening, creating a local network. And finally, we do a lot of capacity building. For example, our RIS fellowships bring students and young entrepreneurs together with hands-on problem-solving skills. And we have an amazing program, Empowering Women in Agri-Food, which is a 6-month course of training, mentoring and support for women entrepreneurs to really develop their skills. So the reason why RIS is mentioned in the new European Innovation Agenda as a building block for the regional innovation valley should be evident. To galvanize those local innovation ecosystems and create that connection between regional innovation stakeholders across science and research, industry, startups, consumers, and other actors, which is critical for that valley to succeed. One of the many tangible outcomes from this collaboration is a wealth of successful startups, and we see that happening in many places, from Nasakamo, an insect protein startup in Bulgaria, EcoBean in Poland. We see where we deploy this approach, you immediately get a mushrooming of successful startups. And that's what it's all about. Get the right people together, create those bioeconomy communities. And with RIS for the past 5 years, we've been doing that at EIT Food.
Thank you so much, Richard. Thanks to you. Thanks to Professor Vladislav. Thanks to Joanna. It was a very dense session. I heard about, not speaking about innovation divide, but let's speak about fragmentation, how to tackle this fragmentation.
That's the word.
That's the word that we will now use onwards. We need to have more coordination, and you also said that regions know it best. They know it best.
Yep.
So this is where we should be. People in the ground, they know what's the problem are. Of course, this we can also guess, but they know best the solutions. So thank you very much for these insights, and I think that we can close the session saying that we need to look ahead. Let's build on what has been done already. Thank you for your examples. Thank you for the picture that you explain us where we are, and we need to move forward with our regional innovation valleys, specifically for bioeconomy and food system, to leverage this potential with all the tools that we have and to fix our food systems within our needs for a good transition, transitions for a better world. So thank you so much. I would like to thank you again. And I think we respected the time. I want to thank also all the people that are connected online. So thank you for being with us today.
Thanks, Rosalinda.